Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela. How is everybody doing? It's a little bit of distraction today. There's two youngish kitties that are visiting today, in and out. They're sort of strays. I don't even know if anybody owns them. They're like 4 months old, maybe-ish. The male is not neutered, so luckily has not been peeing on anything, but I left the little gate here so they can like squeeze through real easy, so they've just been coming in and out, and part of the reason they may be visiting is because I've been feeding them this and that. So I couldn't shut the door because I'm not sure if they're ready for that. They might freak out, especially the one. So one of them has a collar and the other doesn't. The one with the collar has no ID, so I don't know if it's still owned or what. It's all very confusing, but they're very cute, so we'll just have to see. Did you like, I have watched Dragon Ball some, but there's not really a lot of plot line going on, so I think I kind of got tired of it after a while. You guys were talking about Tamagotchi. I remember those. I didn't have one because I was just too busy to be like doing that. You know, frankly, it was a lot. Like, people doing it were such a hassle because, like, we'd be playing pickleball or something or badminton, and they'd be like, oh, I have to take care of my Tamagotchi. And the rest of us are like, dude, it's not real. I do think it was good that it trained people how much work pets are and, like, babies and stuff. So it had its purpose, but... And they were kind of pricey back then. I think they're probably cheap as anything now. Yeah, it was a pain. And I was just, I had work, I had school, I had hobbies. I just did not have time to do pet sitting. So, again, like I said, I do think it was a valuable learning lesson for kids, though. So, that's cool. Okay, so, I don't know, I'm kind of spaced out today. Let's see if these two cats are even still in here. Yeah, they're hanging. One of them is super friendly, and he has the collar, but the other is really skittish and no collar. So the second one is a gray one, and she might be stray. I'm trying to make friends with her. She's moving along, but I can't touch her. Well, I managed to touch her a little bit today, but she's not like the other one. I can like pick up and I can scrub his neck, and this other's gray. So there's the one black one. The black one's very nice. A little wild. I had to train him not to bite me. Like, not mean bite, but he's a wild player, like. So we've worked that out. He's a quick learner, luckily. He was easy. All I had to do was like, if he ever bit or scratched even a little, I would be like, nope. And then I would, like, withdraw all attention. So he learned really quickly, like, if you want to keep playing, don't do those two things. So I think I got him straightened out. The other one's the reverse. She's paranoid. But she'll come in here. And yesterday she actually slept for hours, which is the first time. So she was comfy. So let me see. If the black one comes over... You gonna come over, kitty? Demon, come here. Come here, Demon. Demon. I will give you some Pounce treats. You can see the black one. I think I can pick him up. Pounce, you want some yams? Come here. Come on, get some. Oh, now he won't come over. He must have psychic powers. Come here. There you go. Now he's like in between the rafters of this thing. Come here. Come here. I'll put him here. You have to come out from under there. Right here. It's a trap. Yes, it is. There you go. Now you can see. This is the black kitty. Aww. See, he's like, okay, I'll tolerate it. I don't know, 4 or 5 months old? I'm not even sure. But I gotta figure out what's going on with them because they need to get the snip very soon, especially that female. Alright, so what's going on? So as usual, I'm going to do a bunch of Jackie's first. This one is kind of weird. I mean, I've heard of it I don't know what, maybe the last month or so. We live in the local bubble of the sun. The sun lies within the local bubble, a cavity of low density, high temperature plasma surrounded by a shell of cold neutral gas and dust. So this whole plasma story is pretty interesting because it just keeps ramping, there's plasma around the, because originally when they would say that the aurora borealis was electrons, but now they say it's plasma. And I covered that a while ago, but it just like everything's plasma now, plasma. So seems like the route we're going. And so now I guess we live in a bubble of low density, high temperature plasma surrounded by a shell of cold neutral gas and dust. Like, what makes the shell? Like, what makes all this stuff just stay here? It's like, the more I think about it, the weirder it is. I mean, the flat earthers are like, what keeps the atmosphere like stuck to the globe, right? Well, what makes the bubble like, I don't know. So this thing, it's been around a long time. It was like, I can't even figure out when they said we were in the bubble, but in 1992, which is thousands of years ago for some of you, they were already investigating the structure of the bubble. So they already knew we were in a local bubble. That term was coined by 92, and we were trying to map the shape of the local bubble. I've never even heard of the local bubble until very, very recently. For decades, we have known that the sun lies within the local bubble, a cavity, blah, blah, blah. So decades, we've known decades. Well, I've known 5 minutes. Anyway, so Jackie found that one. Yes, it's weird. Jackie found this one. This one is, this one is just comedic. Penguins, and a range of different ones, Adelaide and all these different ones. Apparently, this is supposed to kind of be a serious article. They shoot poop bombs 4 feet. So now the story is they can shoot projectile poop. Like, they just do that. And then there's like this whole article on this kind has a more arcing pattern, and this kind of penguin has more of a straight pattern. Over a decade ago, scientists explored the pressure needed for chin strap, which didn't exist in my old timeline, and Adelaide penguins to expel poop along a mostly horizontal path. So now they're studying this. Researchers analyzed different fecal trajectories in Humboldt penguins, which often poop in a descending arc away from their nest on higher ground. The scientists first addressed the penguin poo puzzle, published their results in 2003. That pioneering study won the authors Ang Ig Nobel Prize in 2005 for fluid dynamics. So I guess that's a joke prize, but still. They expanded on the earlier results by recalculating internal pressures inside the penguin's gut, correcting for viscosity, blah, blah. Okay, I don't know. Is this even serious here? But I don't know. I'm sure this story is going to, like, spread, pardon the pun. Like, are they going to say that they attack with killer poo, or I don't know. I just don't feel like we've seen the end of this storyline. Their waste contains higher amounts of irritating uric acid. So is it going to be like acid poop bombs? I don't know, but something's gonna. I can't see this just not continuing to get strange. So that's one of the reasons I'm covering this. And I am pretty sure I would have heard about this if it had been around for a while. Okay, so the kitties, yes, I named... Try to understand why I named them the way I named them. I have a gate that is not cat-proof. In the summer, I just have the gate over the door so air can flow. So here I am sitting here minding my own business, and I see something out of the corner of my eye. And I look, and it is two cats. So I were like, ah, and the cats are like, ah. And then we came to an understanding. Okay, you can stay. Okay, everything's fine. We've become somewhat friends, especially to the black one. But it is still freaky because with the gate open, they're so quiet. And then suddenly there's cats. So they just show up and they don't make any noise. And then suddenly there's cats. And then later, suddenly there's no cats. And I don't know if they're even here. Like, okay, they are here. But I would not know unless I... Sometimes I don't think they're here and then they're under the shelves or something. So... Then it's like, well, can I go and shut the door, or am I going to lock cats in here? Because I don't even know if they're here. So I'm trying to train them to come. And the black one is Demon, and then the other one I named Diamond. And that's a whole story, because the first time they came, there was a third, like, 8-week-old one. Really little, but old enough to be just weaned. And that one was another black one. And then he never came back, even though they all three were like a friendly gang. And then I noticed that the gray one's stripes kept changing. I'm like, what, is this a Mandela or what? And then I found out there's 2 of those gray ones, because one day they were out there sitting next to each other. So there's 2. So that's why I named the other one Diamond, because Diamond has a specific diamond spot in the middle that of the stripe on the side. So I know that that one is that one. So there's a 3rd and 4th one out there. And who knows? You know, who knows how many. But they all seem to be grays and blacks. So it's just kind of weird, because it's like suddenly cats, suddenly no cats. Something's touching my foot. Oh, it's a cat. I don't know what I'm going to do in the winter, because I don't usually leave the gate, but I don't think they'll come in without the gate. So I'm going to have to, like, crack the door and leave the gate so they can get something. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to work it out. Let's see. Cowboy Bebop. I watched that before. Is it really 24 episodes? I'm going to have to look and see if there's new episodes, because I swear there were not 24 episodes of that. You know, it's been a long time. I actually did not know about magic mushrooms the first time I saw Cowboy Bebop. I'm like, why are... Oh, there's mushrooms? They're drugs? I like stuff with some kind of plot or style, generally. So it can't be just like fight. Oh, now it's stronger fight. Now it's stronger fight. Now it's stronger fight. There's got to be more to it. Alright, I'm clicking on something. I don't know what it is. Oh, this is that story you were saying then. He disappeared and then he reappeared 30 years later with the same clothes. English. Let's go English. Very convenient. Rancher from Romania left home as he usually did to go to a nearby town. However, his disappearance lasted for 30 years and he claims to remember nothing of the lost time. Did he get 30 years older? He left his house that day. Vasile did not return. Vasile. He received a call, inviting him to close a business in a nearby town. However, when he left, he did not say goodbye with his usual, "I will return for dinner," but simply said it would not take long. He bought his ticket. When night fell, he did not return. His family began to worry. Despite all efforts, all the clues faded and the testimonies were confusing. Vasile said where he was in a calm but distant voice. He replied, "At home. I was always at home." Although his body was fragile due to age, he showed no signs of abuse or malnutrition. Health was good. He remembered his family the day he left, but he had no recollection of 30 years. I wonder if the clothes, like, I don't know. That's just weird. Like, maybe he did voluntarily leave and then he didn't want to say why. And then, but then if you have the exact clothes, if they're not even shabby, that is kind of weird. I mean, it's not impossible to fake. Maybe he decided to go home because he was getting old, but I don't know. I mean, that's what I probably would have assumed in the past, but these days everything is so weird. I've not heard of this guy. Yeah, no, this is the first I'm hearing of this. I created the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack, by the way. I mean, like, really? You'd made that for the anime and stuff? That's pretty cool. It did fit well with, that's not my usual style, but it fit perfectly with the anime. Yeah, I was going to call the gray one Ghost. It was going to be Demon and Ghost. But then I found out that there was like 2 of the gray ones. And I wanted to pick a name that would help me establish which was which. So I guess the gray one escaped Ghost. Besides, Demon and Diamond works pretty good also. Cowboy Bebop, yeah, it's just like an anime, but it's not the normal anime fantasy style. It's more kind of like the gritty cowboy space opera style. But there's fighting and then just, I don't know. I don't know how to even describe it. It's kind of its own thing. It is kind of corny, but it's kind of not. Oh, he had a ticket in his pocket too and died a year later. So, yeah, I don't know what to say on that. You don't need to buy new clothes anymore. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is... Let me just say, I don't buy new clothes unless my old clothes are worn out. So I still would, this is not going to last, this thing. Besides, if you check into this thing I saw this like 6 months ago. And it in the back, it doesn't change. It only changes in the front. So I don't think you're going to be able to like wash this and have it stay long term. But it is interesting. I have a suspicion they're going to need to get this to be more useful before it really goes to market and makes money, though. One of the only animes with a great English dub. Yeah, that's true. I really don't mind subtitles. I kind of like them, though, so it doesn't really... I mean, I'm just fine with subtitles, and then I can hear the original voices and the nuance. And usually there's not that much yapping anyway, so you don't have to work too hard. Anyone else in chat remember Vivian? You know, I have definitely noticed that everybody's avatars keep changing, and I didn't know if, like Jackie, did you just, like, change your avatar, like, the last 2-ish weeks or something? Because I don't remember your face being on there. I never knew what you looked like until the last couple weeks, because now your face is on there. Galaxy now has a thing called the Norma arm. Has that always been there? So when did that Norma arm show up for me? It was like a couple of years ago. It definitely wasn't there way back, but it's not like screaming new, but yes, it's a Mandela. When we need medieval armor to be back in fashion. Speaking of the devil, the old medieval armor now is so much better than the crap that existed in my old timeline. It's actually, now you could see how useful it is. Okay, so you really did. I don't remember you having a picture of you at all, though. That's the thing. Like, there was no, I had no knowledge what you look like, and then suddenly it was on your avatar. I don't know what to say about this Vanish guy, because like I said, he could have just like been with his mistress or something, you know, and didn't want to admit it. So when they said, where were you? He could just say, I don't know. And maybe she like died or whatever. And then he decided, I'll just go back and act like nothing happened. On the other hand, yeah, who knows? What was it before? I don't think you even had one, or it was some blah symbol or something. I don't remember anything attached to your... I posted that Snapchat photo to make fun of my new cheekbones. But what was it an image of you there before, or what? So basically, I just, I really notice it on people who make comments, because on the comments, you can really see what's on there. It's not just like a, but frankly, even just here, like, I don't remember all this. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like the whole layout here has changed, and I don't even remember seeing anything along here. I thought it would say Jackie, and then over to the right was the writing. I don't remember. So, I don't know. But that's definitely where I see it, is on the comments, because you can really see the image then. And plus, you know, when I'm here, I'm thinking about all this other stuff and blah, blah. But when I'm sitting in the comments, I might just sit there and kind of like zone out and be looking at it for a while, and I'll think about it. And there's like way less tax on my brain at the time. Okay, yeah, you could change it back, and I'll see if I ever saw that before. That'll definitely help, because if I saw it once, then it comes back. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember that one. Mars has stopped being red. Now it just looks dirt colored. Like we've been phasing out of red for a couple of years now. Now we have... It just looks like I went on a desert hiking trip, and that's Mars. The clearest view of Mars ever. I feel like this is just a load of Arizona dirt here. This one here. Oh, some granite. How'd that get there? I mean, this just looks like desert varnish, too. All these stones look like desert varnish out in the desert. So I don't know, people who don't live in the desert area, desert varnish is like this, all the stones develop this kind of a varnish color to it, like a shiny gray, and they don't exactly know what causes that, at least in the current timeline, but it just, over the millennia, it accumulates on there, and if you break the stone open, it won't have, or even sometimes just flipping it over, the bottom won't have that. So it's just like something that accumulates on the outside. And it looks like this. But then you'll flip them over, and suddenly they'll be a different color because they don't have desert varnish on them. I can't even, you know, I looked and I can't even find out how long it takes to accumulate desert varnish, but it's supposedly it's a long time. Like decades or longer. So like when they do mining work and stuff, they actually spray the rocks, like when they're fixing it back to look natural, they spray the rocks with something that makes it look like desert varnish, just so that that area blends with all the rest. So this just looks exactly like desert varnish rocks, and a couple flipped over, or a couple new ones that didn't have the desert varnish on it. That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, and there'll be sometimes like new outcroppings that don't have the varnish. Like, I don't actually even... Now, the more I think about it, the more weird it is. Because I do find stuff like that, where it's all varnished rocks. And then why do these not have it? And maybe it's because that recently had other rocks on top and they washed away. But now I want to go out here and like, flip over these rocks and see if they're desert varnish. Because You know, I should probably look and see what the current story on desert varnish is. Is it... I guess, well, there's moisture on Mars. I was going to say, if moisture's evolved, it can't be desert varnish, but now they claim that there is moisture on Mars. Look, it's not red at all. It's just a little red here, and now it's gray, and over there's gray, and this looks so fake, too. This is not... It looks like they were too lazy to do a good job on this. It's like, oh, they didn't even put any interesting features in there. Does it go around and then you should be able, is this the tracks of the rover maybe right here? Sooner or later you should see the tracks of the rover. Sand dunes. Yeah. It's not red anymore. This is the reddest one, and it looks more like mauve. Remember, it used to be that orangey red. Mars is going to turn blue. Look, it's turning blue. It is. It's turning blue. Okay, that I assume is not Mars, but I don't know. Alright, let's go back. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they would say maybe it's like some other clouds of who knows what, but... You know, I think I had my time changed, too. So, if I'm 1 hour off, then that would be why. You know, it's weird, because... everything is so electronic now that I don't have to touch a clock. My one battery clock died, and I can't figure out what's wrong with it because it wasn't batteries. And all the others update automatically. So phone, my computers, all of that updates. So I don't even know if the time changed. I'm pretty sure it changed, though. I think it was this last weekend. Okay, here's the thing, though. If, like, Mars was always Earth... and they're faking it, then they would just keep using the red, but the red has disappeared. I mean, there's no reason for them to stop using the red. Our tech now to fake the red is even better than our old tech, so. Yeah, and they wouldn't, like, lie. They wouldn't change the rules about the size of Mars and all of that, so. Yeah, Mars was... For me, Mars was very close to the same size as Earth. It was the closest to Earth that way. And the closest as far as environment, even though it was still pretty far. And no water. Now I'm curious if there's cats. Yeah, they're still here. Good kitties. Usually the black one gets, like, bored and bails now. But he's still here. What do you remember, Madeline McCann or Madeline McCain? It was definitely McCann for me, but I don't remember two N's, I don't think. There's too many, like, letters in there. M-C-C-A-N-N. Maybe it was, like, M-C-A-N-N. There weren't that many, though. Anyone else remember this Hurricane Milton already hitting the East Coast and Diddy indicted? No, I remember Diddy arrested. And I don't remember any hurricane hitting except for the one that went up. It was close to Florida, but it went to the left of Florida like last week or something. It didn't hit Florida head on. That's the one that caused the problems in the next door. It's still McCann, right? Or did it change to McCain? Is it really Madeline McCain? Yeah, exactly. It's changing to MCCCANNNNN. So Florida, I don't know. I haven't heard too much. They said it's going to get whacked hard, though. I mean, it's like kicking in right now, apparently. So I don't know what to say. I hope they'll be all right. Now, Florida's changed a lot, so it might be that we'll just hear these areas got hit really hard, like the what are those goofy islands out the Key West? There's a whole bunch more of them, so maybe we'll hear all these Key West islands were destroyed, but like they're ones that weren't there before, anyways. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens like that. Last week, my friend in California, or Canada, CA could be either, cut a hole in his wall to let a kitten out that had been meowing in it for 2 weeks. I don't see how a kitten survives 2 weeks in there without food unless there's some kind of water leak somewhere. Speaking of the devil, I got notification from the water department that I've been running water for 2 weeks at the house. And I haven't, so there's definitely a leak somewhere. We're going to have to figure where that is. But I love this new thing. This one thing that the water department has done that I approve of is this new system where they let you know if there's a water leak, because otherwise you may not know until you get the next bill. But now I know after 2 days, they said you've been running your water for 2 days. So 404 gallons of water has escaped. So we should be able to see it when the sun rises. Got a Facebook friend giving us updates. She has some friends are hunkered down in a very sturdy house with windows that can withstand hurricane winds. So, you know, like my mom was in Guam for a while, and they rate the roofs to do like 175 mile an hour, 200 mile an hour. They're rated to that. And the whole house is just designed to tolerate like a 200 mile per hour winds. So people do just hunker down, and as long as you're not in a flood zone, you're usually fine. But I just don't know if Florida's homes are built like that. Like they built the homes in Guam with like rebar and cement and all this stuff even in the roof. Yeah, so there was like cinder blocks and rebars and all that, and those things, I mean, like I like the way they built those, because you really, I mean, nothing's gonna happen to that place, okay? I mean, like you said, a fire, even if it flooded, like the walls would be okay. You would just have to redo the electrical, and they, even the way they do the electrical, they try to keep it pretty simple. They keep stuff up high. Yeah, I would totally cut a hole in the wall to get a kitty out. But, you know, I know people who can patch the hole anyway, so. Yeah, I don't know. So, here's the thing I haven't figured out. Is it maybe the changes in the layout happen before the event, or do they happen after the event? I know that around the time there's a big event, stuff shows up. But I didn't know if it showed up before or after. So, maybe we can figure that out. Maybe... I mean, we have seen a lot of changes in that area, and who was on here was saying that on the west end, that like finger of like by Alabama, that finger of Florida showed up recently, and that's true. So maybe the changes show up first, and then the disaster shows up. So we might be too late to catch it, but we'll find out. Do I recognize that picture? Very hard to see. Go to chat. Let me see if I can see it on here. No, I've definitely not seen that one before. No, I don't think you had one before. I don't think you had a face on it. I did not know what you looked like. There was nothing there indicating what you looked like. When this one showed up, I'm like, oh, so that's what you look like. I'm just thinking maybe that kitten, there was like a water source under there. Like it just would need to be some dripping water or a puddle or something. Because I don't see how it could survive 2 weeks without water. I mean, you can't survive. Maybe in the morning there's like dew accumulates under there or something. Okay, so we have the killer penguin poo. Let's see. Jackie found this one, I think, too, right? Yes, this one. I'm almost positive this is also Jackie's. Okay, so now they have these jellies, and I guess jellyfish, and they're like in this. They're calling them these. They're a bunch of different species, but they're calling them all siphonophores. So they're not the same as the siphonophores, which are like the siphonophores are the ones that can live as separate cells or combine into one, okay? And that was already a freaky Mandela. These siphonophores are like, they're calling them jellyfish, but there's a whole lot of really weird ones, and some of the recent ones that we've had on have been these siphonophores, which also are new, in my opinion. Look at all these cool things. I don't think that's one, though. But you could kind of see, like, all these UFO-looking things, and, I don't know, is the box jelly also a siphonophore? This one, apparently... Okay, so these... The story now is that they're not, from what I can see, saying that they exist separately as separate cells, like the siphonophores. They're just jellies, but they're calling them comb jellies. And now they're saying that they just discovered, just now, like somehow we didn't know this whole time, that they can like fuse together into one creature. Like, that'd just be like, okay, let's go together. And then you won't be able to tell because it'll just look like one bigger guy. Like, I had two in the tank and now there's only one, but it's bigger. That would be one heck of a Mandela, right? Like, it's just two. So they're saying, though, that it'll have like two stomachs and two nervous systems, but if you look at it, it just looks like one. And apparently they tend to do this if like there was an injury. So to make sure that they weren't going insane, because apparently what happened was there was an injured one in the tank with some others, and then they went back and that one was gone. And they're like, well, where'd it go? But then they're like, wait, this one is larger than it was, like suddenly larger. So they got 20 of these, and they like slightly injured all of them and then put them in a tank together. And they said 9 of them, they ended up with 9 pairs. So like 18 of them then fused, like doubled up. So a whole bunch of them doubled up because I guess the injury. They said the injuries weren't that bad. So like, I'm kind of confused because if you can just fuse to the neighbor, why don't you just fuse the injury gone, right? Like, and they're not explaining. I think the injury gone after they fuse. Like, did they just look whole now? Because, I mean, if you can just combine with the neighbor, why don't you just? I don't know. Actually, is this it? Oh, okay. So I guess this is a fused one, and there's like 2. They're poking it, and they're saying, "Hey, look." The whole thing is working together now. The researchers also fed the fused jellies fluorescent shrimp to see if their stomachs had also merged. Food ingested by one of the jelly's mouths could be seen moving across both stomachs, suggesting that the stomachs had fused, to some extent at least. Their nervous systems had fully synced up. The fused creatures acted as one. Excuse me. You know what was weird? I went next door and the guy to get like a soda, right? And the guy said every time he comes to work, he starts having runny nose and sneezing. And I'm like, I don't smell any, I'm not noticing anything. And I came over here and now I'm doing it. And I haven't done any sneezing for like, I don't know, a long time. So suddenly I do feel kind of like the thing he said like, is it delayed reaction from the mystery stuff over there? I don't know. But actually, this is kind of like, what? Or maybe it's just in the universe, or is it something over there? Now I'm kind of actually freaked out because, like, what could cause that? It's just a gas station, basically. So I can't even think, even if gas spilled or the soda spilled, I'm like, what could be in there that would cause an allergic reaction? I mean, somebody stomps on wheat pellets, that wouldn't do it for me, so. Pollen doesn't do it. Actually, nothing does it. I haven't eaten any wheat in like a while, so that's not it. There's actually no reason. Oh, actually, now I'm starting to overthink this. Okay. I don't know. I'm having a slight allergic reaction in my nose, too. Like, even when they spilled, like, even when the battery fire happened and there was hydrogen fluoride and hydrogen cyanide in the air, I did not have an allergic response to it. I mean, it stank. My eyes burned, but it wasn't the same as an allergy. Most of the fused pairs were still alive after 3 weeks when the study ended because of a lack of funding. This species of comb jelly can also recover by regenerating lost body parts and reversing the age process. Oh, it's that one. It's probably extremely rare in the wild. Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts for. Why would they not be still alive? Like, they said they didn't injure them that bad. Jokura suspects the fused jellies could have lived much longer. He also speculated that more than 2 injured individuals could fuse, but they did not test it. Now I'm wondering why those ones died. Was the injury? They said the injuries were mild. Okay, so anyway, just weird. It starts here, and you know there's going to be more. And they even said, well, maybe other species can do it. Okay, this is another one Jackie found, which is strange, especially because of all this hurricane. Yeah, but did you know that hurricanes replace their eye, like the center of the storm, and it's called EWR, eye wall replacement cycle, and for a while in between there will be 2 eyes before the new eye wall takes over. So you can have 2 eyes at once. This is another one where I feel like something's going to come out of it. Or we're going to get like hurricanes, figure 8 hurricanes with 2 eyes or something. Because everything is just more and more crazier on everything. So they're saying, okay, Hurricane Florence in 2018 underwent an EWR cycle, resulting in a temporary appearance of 2 eyes before the new eye wall took over. Hurricane Andrew in 1992, leading to a brief period of 2 eyes. The eye wall replacement cycle is a natural process in hurricane dynamics involving the formation and replacement of eye walls. Understanding this phenomena is crucial for predicting hurricane behavior. Blah, 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 blah. There's no way we're just hearing about this. I'm sorry, but we've been studying hurricanes for how long? Inside hurricanes and typhoons. I wonder if it's inside anything else, actually. As these storms strengthen, the eye walls become tighter and tighter and more intense until they reach maximum strength. At this point, a new eye wall may begin to form on the outside. Okay. I guess this is the new eye wall. Cutting off the fuel for the inner wall and eventually leading to its demise. I don't know. This is not the most... So the new eye is like around the old eye? That's the old eye and the old eye wall. It's not really explaining where the new eye is. I feel like we're going to end up with like 2 eyes. I mean, let's face it, two eyes is the normal look, right? One eye, two eye. It's called the eye. It's not called the center. That's my prediction. Down the line, some point along, there'll be two-eyed hurricanes. Faces are long. You know, I do feel like my face looks a little different or something. It wouldn't be the first time, though, and sometimes I'm just like, whatever, whatever. There's a video with a cat meowing on Insta. If you play it, your cat will come out meowing. Yeah, you know, we listen to so many cat videos at home that our cats generally just are like, yeah, stupid human tricks again. Who was I looking at that looked so different? David Bowie. I just thought he looks his young, especially self, just looks so different now. Somebody was talking about that on Redcon. I'm like, that's David Bowie. Almost no pictures really look like him anymore. Joe, I think we had that one on before, that Neil deGrasse Tyson one where he said the Sag arm. That has been on. All right, let's hear it. The magic. I am finding with these new cats that piss, piss, piss actually does work. All right. Oh, it's that cute sound they make. Then they go. These new ones, they do that a lot, especially the gray one. Oh, they're both still in here. Hey, kitties. Maybe it's cold out. That kind of makes sense because that's sort of their greeting meow. Like, they're like, hello, hello. We're all friends. He did look weird to begin with, but now he just looks different. All right, so for the two color eyes of David Bowie, what I remember is there was a slight variation, and they said it's because he got, like, he had, like, an inherent problem with his lens, okay? And then later the story was that he got punched in the eye by a friend, and that messed up his eye. But it was a slight difference. And now it's like he has a whole blue eye. It's, like, so extreme that I don't see how that could just be from a lens. You know, like they're saying his two eyes are not a different color, but it's the lens. I don't believe it. I think we must be heading to a timeline where he has heterochromia or something. All right, we're talking about the lines. The lines, wait. Oh, you talking about these? I mean, even my cat that I have, the colors have changed so much. I've covered it before that it freaks me out. And this new gray one, I've never seen this in the gray. She's like a tabby, but she's got like a runway track of lines down the back. And then on the side here, it's like the lines go like this, and then in the back, they run the other way. So it's like somebody was lazy on the paintbrush or something. I have not seen that before on a cat. Alright. Now we're like... I kind of think it's funny that Neil deGrasse Tyson is the one that has the leftover Mandela residual. Because I think a lot of people go, well, that guy's just a dumb arse. And that's why... people who hear it that are doubters will just go, he's stupid. I mean, I don't think that's why that's there. I think it is residual, to be clear. But I think it's very easy to write him off as not knowing what he's talking about. This is one I just was like looking at lightning, and it's getting so fat. So this is supposed to be a real photo of real lightning, like right behind, I guess, this. And like, how is it so big? I've been saying it for a while, but this is still too effing big. It's stupidly large. I mean, like, was it like a mile wide or something? I mean, this volcanic material thrust high in the atmosphere can trigger lightning, and this is supposed to be a legit photo. What? We were talking about, Jackie said something about some kind of lightning, and I just saw, like, how fat is this lightning? Look at how fat that lightning is. What is this little one here? This little blue one. What the heck? What is that? I don't know if that might be like a residual on the camera lens there, maybe, but I just suddenly noticed that now that I've expanded this one. But it's way too fat. I mean, it's fatter than a tree. How much is this tree? Is like 10 foot across. This is behind it. So what is this, 20, 30 foot? I mean, let's see. So, yeah, she found this thing, smooth channel, lightning bolts, arcs to the ground through the turbulent updraft base. And all this baloney stuff that's now in the lightning lore. That I think that's one of the tricks, is the complexity of the flim-flam of the new reality. It's just like, ugh. And I know before I would be like, learning it and studying and go, okay, and then it works like this, and then I'd be the knowledgeable lightning king. But now I'm like, it's all going to change anyway. Look at how fat that is. I mean, like, the distance, that thing has to be several buildings thick, at least. Because these buildings out here, like, these buildings are just like this, the finger on this little pointer is about the thickness of a building out here. Okay, so this bowl is at least as wide as like one of these buildings. And that's insane, because it would just be as wide as the tiny spire on this building before. Like, it's ridiculous. They're like lightning, bolts is not the word I want to use anymore, because they're like tunnels or something. I mean, they're just so big now, some of these. I wonder if I type thick. There's got to be a word for these super thick ones. Thick lightning bolt. Let's try that. I mean, is this even real? This Pinterest, so it might be fake, but... Okay. I want to see an up-close one. See, these are just too thick. How thick would that thing be? There's got to be another word for whatever this thing is. I mean, come on. This is the old lightning, and even that is kind of thick for the old lightning. And now we have this. What is this? There's got to be a word for what this thing is going to be. How could that just be there and nobody's saying, wait a minute, what the heck? This is bugging me now. Jackie I just saw Jackie's thing like a little while ago, a few hours ago, and I'm like, this is too much. I was looking up her thing and I just got completely distracted by this. A word has to come up, because there's obviously a huge difference between this thing and this thing. It's like a tap root of lightning. And these are like the baby roots. Same with this. I think this is a legit one again. Like, what is going on here? How thick can a lightning bolt be? While the intensity of a lightning strike can make them appear as thick bolts across the sky, the actual width of a lightning bolt is only 2 to 3 centimeters. Are you telling me that that's 2 to 3 centimeters? So, how is it? Okay, there's going to have to be some kind of plasma story or something, because there's just no way that that was 2 to 3 centimeters and it looks like it's about 50 feet across. I mean, there's going to have to be something. Visually, the lightning bolt which hit CN Tower was taken in the given picture must be at least 2.5 meters wide or greater. All right, somebody's asking on this thickness thing. 1 year ago. Normal, according to Google, normals are only 3 centimeters in diameter, but they appear much bigger from a distance thanks to the light they emit. Basically, I'm asking how big a lightning bolt appears to be to the naked eye, not how big a bolt is. Something is off with this. There's just, I don't see how, if that bolt was so bright that it could make itself look, 50 feet across, which some of these definitely do, then they should also shine across all the buildings in the area and light those up. If it was just like a light emitting extreme brightness, then there should be, when that flash hits, I'm actually looking at a picture of the lightning, but I am not seeing it become bright as daylight all around the surrounding features. So there's no way that I can understand how they can say it looks 20 feet across, but it's really only 3 centimeters because it's so bright. That does not make sense to me. Something is off, and I'm voting plasma, because that seems to be the story for everything. It seems like when you see clips of lightning striking the American Midwest, the lightning is far away and appears to be fairly large. Yeah, see, normally when stuff's far away, it looks smaller, not larger. Then you see clips of a tree that is 20 feet away getting struck. The bolts of lightning appear about the same width as those that could be miles away. So my question is the apparent similarity between the bolts just a coincidence or a case of selective memory, or what? Lightning is brilliant. The arc core can reach temperatures of 50,000 K. The high channel current creates powerful magnetic forces that Z-pinch the channel into surprisingly small diameter. I feel like this is complete flim-flam. The best photographic measurements show a channel diameter between 2 and 7 inches. However, these are probably overstated from film exposure. A close-up but likely overexposed photo of a powerful positive lightning bolt can be seen here. Probably overexposed. Let's see. Okay, but here's the thing. If it's overexposed and making it wide, then how come all these other lightning bolts still look about right? There's something just not adding up here. The heat and UV radiation ionizes gases. All right, I feel like we're getting to the plasma story here. Although the photoionization is important during initial spark breakdown, thermal ionization begins at 33K, 3000 K for oxygen. As channel conductivity increases, arc volume voltage drops. I don't know. Something's off. I guess we're not at the timeline that's going to explain this, but You know, this last week I've been really moody. And I don't know, maybe it's because I had kind of neglected my thiamine intake and that was it. But I've definitely been like this weird, like, I don't know, maudlin, kind of sad over nothing. And then I'm just kind of laughing at being sad over like nothing. I mean, not that there's nothing to be sad about, but if it just comes and it's not even like, no, my cats are healthy, nobody died, you know, it's like, what are you doing here? Fran, I don't know how to say your last name, but welcome. Yeah, we're not doing them. I will sometimes admit I'd misremembered something, but it's usually not going to be Mandela related. Or there'll be times when I'm not sure, but yes. That is almost forbidden word in here. All right, let's see. I'm clicking on Shari's link. I'm not sure what this... Oh, these celebrities have different color eyes. Do I know them? Miley Kunis. What, she has two different color browns? I was blind in one eye for many years and no one knew. Fortunately, as a result of surgery, she's no longer blind in that eye, though the very pretty difference in color has lasted. Okay, so it's supposed to be eye damage. Chronic inflammation of the iris. Okay. I don't know this dude, but yes, that eye is pretty crazy. Half blue, half brown eye. See, at first it started as two different colored eyes. Now the two colors are in one single eye. She also has it. One being blue and one being hazel. One's blue and this one is like green and red. That's pretty crazy. Kate Bosworth. I've heard of her. Don't know her well. Same with this one. I've not heard of him. Keith Sutherland has two color eyes. I can't even see it on the picture, so... I guess it's supposed to be blue and green, but you can't really tell. This one, Jane Seymour. Yeah, that's pretty extreme. Did you realize that one of her eyes is brown and the other green? Don't worry, we were distracted by her hair. So I wonder if that's a Mandela because the way they said it. Yeah, wait a minute. Okay, she did Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. How would I not notice that one eye was brown? I am very suspicious on this one. I think I should have seen this one because I used to watch that show. Holy, I don't know this guy. You couldn't not notice on that one, though. Elizabeth Berkley. I don't know her. This one is too subtle. Bill Pullman. There looks like there's kind of like a lot of them. Alice Eve. Don't know her. No way. That guy has it. Wait, isn't that... Wait. Yeah, he did. No way. He has it? This is interesting because the weird brown spot is kind of like under the lid a little bit. So you could almost say you didn't see it, but I don't see how I didn't see it. Not for him. I should have seen for him. That's weird. This one is too subtle. Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know. It's too subtle. I think there's a spot on that eye, but I could have not seen that. Subtle ones don't count. Dan Aykroyd, one green and one brown eye. No. Aykroyd has complete heterochromia, which he discussed with the... No, how I can't... No. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong! I'm sorry. Now, you can't see from this faraway picture, but I mean, really, one brown and one green? This is craziness. Chocolate brown flecks in each eye. I don't... These subtle ones don't count. Grace Allen had one green eye and one blue eye. Those are some weird eyes. Dang, there's a lot of these. Now, I don't know, like, a lot of these, but... There's David Bowie's. Cats are doing something. Hold on, let me just check. What are you guys doing over there? I think they're smacking some crap around underneath the... Like, they just get under there and then they smack at each other and they wail on stuff. Joe Pesci. Really? Dude, that doesn't even look real. That can't be his real eyes. Deep... No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's no way that that is his real eyes. I mean, I would have been freaked out if I saw those eyes. Blue eyes have brown inner rings, giving this respected actor... No, come on. That is not right. I feel like that's a fake image. Oh, of course he has sunglasses on. Alright. Yeah, that one was a scam. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Now they just look like they're all... That's actually weird looking too, in a different way. He just looks like they're solid, like, charcoal eyes. Wait a minute. How can... Wait, that was Robert De Niro. Why am I looking at Robert De Niro? Wait, we need to find Pesci only. I'm not real good at faces, as you can see, but... They just look like they're black in that one. Alright, you can see that they're kind of creepy in that one. What is going on here? That does not look like the same eyes as that. I'm wondering if he was wearing maybe some kind of lens, some kind of contacts or something. Something doesn't like jive here with those images. Something's off. And that is not his eye color. Come on, people. Now I can't trust any of this. I shouldn't have been trusting that much anyway. Tim McGrath. McIlrath. I don't even know who that is. How is it so many people have weird, creepy brown patches now? Alexander the Great. Check out those eyes. He's alien. Something's off. There's like way too many of these people. Maybe they like stain their eyes or something. I only had one cup of coffee and I need another. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about caffeine anymore. Oh yeah, the law changes. Only thing I can say is it does seem like it's gradual enough that you can deal with it. All the Mandelas tend to be gradual, although there is something that, speaking of the devil, this happened to me. I was going to ship, so I already mentioned that there was this problem shipping to France because suddenly, starting 2 years ago, I was supposed to use special packaging and get a special permit in order to ship a box this big to France. Which I have to pay $95 a year to permission special. I mean, it's just like, okay, so So then, like, a couple days ago, my assistant is like, how come there's this weird fee for Colorado? And she's pretty observant. And she's like, what is this fee? Colorado. And it's this big long line now on the receipt that we send their invoice, and it's like this huge Colorado retail delivery fee. And so it's like what is this thing? So it was 29 cents. I'm like, what? So I look it up. Apparently it's been there for 2 years. And she's never seen it. I've never seen it. We ship to Colorado fairly often. In fact, the very next day I shipped another package to Colorado, and it was on that. It says 29 cents. I looked it up, and other places are saying it's a 28 cents. And other places are saying it's 27 cents. I'm like, do we not even know how many pennies we're supposed to be charging? But apparently Colorado is taxing all shipments, and they haven't for 2 years. That luckily Etsy collects it, but apparently there was a big stink because at first they had not exempted the smaller businesses. But they're saying it's for the roads. Like, oh yeah, I bet you they're not going to fix the roads, because they never fix the roads. And they have gas tax. They don't take that and fix the roads. Now they have this 28. It's just like another. Okay, here's the thing. Colorado requires the people of Colorado to vote in any taxes. So what they did was they called it a fee. And so now you don't get to vote on it. And now there's this fee. And they pay it because Etsy charges them. And then Etsy remits the money to the state of Colorado. But 2 years it's been there. 2 years, and I've never even heard of it. I'm just freaking out that these things suddenly were for, a big bunch of countries in the EU. And now Colorado had it for 2 years. And Minnesota started in July. So there's 2 of them. Now, granted, I don't ship a ton to Minnesota, and this is new. But how did I not hear about all this stuff? I'm like on all of these shipping alert sites. I read them when they come. Prices change. Oh, really? Click, read. Rules change. Click, read. I missed all of these. This is crazy. It's completely insane. So I do think maybe there was a big shift, because just this week we're all like, what is all this crap? All right, so speaking of laws changing, but they didn't directly impact me because Etsy takes care of that. In this case, and I've had a few of these before, but they're just small enough that I'm not going to get like in deep doo-doo for not knowing, and a lot of other people don't know apparently, so. Yeah, Adolf Hitler's was brown for me, for sure. That was always the thing we were told, like, what a hypocrite. He said blue eyes are superior, and he didn't even have them. And how stupid are people? And, I don't know, maybe 10,000 million people saying that has altered history to make it make more sense, but. Aykroyd's named, yeah, there was a spelling change. So I guess now he has 2 color eyes. I don't know. Oh yeah, Aykroyd. Yeah. Yeah, it's Aykroyd. It's Aykroyd. Aykroyd is not right. This is the creepy one with the 2 color eyes. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure on Chaplin. I thought they were brown, but I wouldn't swear to it. Hitler, I know for sure, because we'd always discussed about the hypocrisy. And Moneybags for sure did not have blue in my old timeline. Okay, so something is very fishy with these lightning stories. Something's going to have to give on this. This doesn't, like, my eyeballs, you can see that is, look, that is fatter than this. And if it wasn't, if it was so bright, it should shine out across the land. It wouldn't be all, how is the light all contained in like one spot? And if it's overexposed, then how come these aren't real fat? They're just, it's not, something is not right. All right. This one, like, I think this was Jackie, right? Jackie, still you. You were saying, like, the Brazilian flag looks weird. And I swear to God, I have never seen this weird effing flag. Like, what in the F is this? So she's saying she doesn't remember the stars outside the ring. So I'm assuming she doesn't remember this star. I have never seen this flag. I have this general image of Brazil just having some boring stripes on their flag. This thing is a complete alien. Like, if you told me that was the Star Trek flag, I would believe you. I don't know what this is. So I was just like laughing so hard. Do you guys recognize this thing? I mean, like, it's distinctive enough. You know, like the Japan flag, you see it once. You always know, you know, you're not going to forget that that's a flag. And you probably won't forget that it's from Japan. This thing is crazy. So I was just like, I had to say something. What the F, Brazil, that's your effing flag is all I have to say now. Oh, did the star get bigger? I don't know what to say. I've never seen that flag in my life. Now Hitler doesn't have any Jewish relatives. In my timeline, he had a Jewish grandma. I do remember that Jewish grandma story, but it was like sort of new to me. And then, like, did you know he had a Jewish grandma and blah, blah, not that long ago. So I don't think it's my original timeline. So my feeling though on this is that even if I had ever seen this flag and then I saw it again, I will know that I at least saw the flag. Like, I might be like, I don't remember what country it's from, but I've seen that flag. This flag I have never in my life seen until earlier today when Jackie said something about the star. I have literally never seen it before. And I know I've seen the Brazilian flag because, you know, they're in the Olympics. There's the soccer and all that. I mean, it's not like that thing is never seen. Yeah, I don't remember any flags with this big diamond. I don't remember anything with flags. What are these stars even for? I should actually look it up because what is this even for? Wiki. The national flag, known as the Auriverde, the gold, okay, Auriverde, gold, green. I know Verde's green. Consists of a green field with a yellow rhombus diamond. Alright, blah. The green field represents the House of Braganza, while the yellow rhombus represents the House of Habsburg. The blue circle and white stars symbolize the sky over Rio de Janeiro on November 15, 1889, and represent the 26 states and the Federal District of Brazil. Okay. Actually, the sky and the dots thing makes, I don't know, some sense. It's kind of cool. I don't know about the rest of it. The first vexillological symbols used in Brazil were private. During the Napoleonic Wars, the Portuguese royal family resided in Brazil, which was elevated to a kingdom co-equal with Portugal. This period of co-regency lasted. Blah. Okay, I don't remember. Each star in the flag represents a Brazilian federal unit, with their size proportional to the geographic size of the state. According to Brazilian law, the flag must be updated if a state is created or extinguished. Okay, so if that star got bigger, then that means, it should mean, that the unit, the federal unit, the Brazilian federal unit that it stands for must have also gotten larger, because that's what they... So let's see. Does Brazil look different? Now, granted, the borders could move around without the edges of actual Brazil moving around. Like they could, the internal borders could move around. All right. When I look at this thing, what I see is this. Now, I'm not sure what star that represents. The only other thing I'd say is maybe that's a little bulbous, but this thing looks weird. How are these, like, which star does that which... I'm looking at this and going, all right. But it's the sky. That's right. It's the sky. How would you figure out which one this represents? I'm not sure. But that's actually could look like that could help us like narrow down changes in Brazil if you can find a map. Brazil. Flag. Unit map. The Brazil flag unit map is a unique representation that combines the national flag of Brazil with a map of the 27 states. Each star, blah, blah. Yeah, where is the thing that tells us which one is which? Good luck finding that, sucker. I have to say, lately, Brave browser search has been really bad, too. Sometimes I type in stuff, and it doesn't even look at all like the thing I typed in. That is not really telling me it, though. This might be a secret that the Mandela does not want to divulge right now. All right, Brazilians. Help me out here. I'm sure all the Brazilians are like, what are you talking about, dumb arse? That was always our flag. Fist of the North Star. That was one of the first animes I ever saw was Fist of the North Star. And let's check the California. Ah, this one I know more. All right. I've already covered the old changes, and I don't think I saw one the last time I looked. All right. I do think there's some changes. This has gotten thicker. This red thing has gotten even thicker than what and this star has gotten even thicker. It was not this thick last time I looked. Look at it. It looks crazy. Look at this thing. That's crazy. It was okay. And I just looked like a week ago too, so yes. Now, originally, it did not say... You know, the other thing is this writing, California Republic. Is different. That's not... It was smaller. I think it was black. The font was different. That one still doesn't look right. It might have been Republic California, too. California Republic. That thing wasn't in my original one at all, but it's shown up. Didn't it used to have a K? Republic. I thought it had a K before. I'm almost positive it had a K. So there has been changes in the California flag, for sure. Now, you said something about the bear looking and not looking, and that one is kind of tripping me out because I kind of remember it both ways. And that one might have switched back and forth. The other thing is these, like, rocks that I want to call them rocks that were on here. They almost starting to look like footprints now. There's something's changed on the way these, like, dash things that are inside the green. We have a stupid looking flag. I think the face on the bear has changed too. It kind of looks like it's eyeballing you with its weird. Okay, so yes, the flag has changed for sure. For sure. Crazy. Cocaine bear. The dark coloring in the bear has changed. You know, that's a good point. The shadowing is more extensive now. Yeah, I do agree with you. It was more just like line work, but now it's like this big blobby. I think it was in black before too, wasn't it? There was a black lineage, but now it's these shadow work in deep brown. It really looks like the actual California Republic is in brown now too, and I am sure that that was black before. It looks like it's brown. There's not black on here anymore. That's crazy, because what flag doesn't have black? I'm almost positive that was a K, because I joke that it made us look Russian. Like it had that Russian feel to it. So that was done, like the storyline for the... Let me just see what the storyline is now, because that has changed. Last I checked, it was like some little failed coup lasted for 5 minutes, and they made this flag, and then for some weird reason we had it ever since, even though it was literally like just a week or two long that they even had done the attempt, and it was just a couple drunk guys, and it's like, that's our flag? From that? Okay. The precursor of the flag was flown through an 1846 Bear Flag Revolt and was also known as the Bear Flag. Yeah, it was the Bear Flag Revolt, I think. Colors. A coup led by Juan Alvarado declared Alta California's independence from Mexico. The rebels captured Monterey. Alvarado and the other Californios negotiated a compromise, where California's leaders accepted his status as a department under Siete Leyes, Mexico. I have not heard this. I just heard that they gave up and that was the end of it. But now they negotiated a compromise where they were accepted as a department under Siete Leyes, which I think 7 laws, I think is what that means. Mexican's Constitution of 1836 in return for more local control. Alvarado was appointed governor the next year. This is different. Okay, this is different. Okay, wait, that's Lone Star. That's Lone Star. No. Yeah, this is Lone Star. Okay, here... The original grizzly bear flag was created by Peter Storm. This is the story I remember, but not with the compromise and the Siete Leyes mentioned. But I don't remember anything about a lone... Actually, I don't remember anything about a Lone Star flag of the United States. Wait a minute. That's like Texas. Okay, this has changed. The story used to just be, there was this coup, it lasted for a week or two, and that's where the bear flag came. But now they're like, the Lone Star flag came from the coup, but the coup was a little more successful. We didn't even have a Lone Star. What the heck is that? That's from Texas. Now some dude raised in Sonoma became known as the Bear Flaggers. This is all such ridiculous. Why am I even reading it? I'm like, this is all fake reality. The bear flag given to the young Montgomery returned with the USS Portsmouth to the East Coast, blah, blah, blah. The flag was given to the California senators. The flag was donated to us. All right, that's all. All right, so now the story is that the flag is a combination of the bear flag by the Sonoma guy and the coup did the star, and I think I'm kind of frustrated. I'm frustrated! Arctic goes a landmass. We can agree on that. Guinea-Bissau. I'm the only one who's anybody heard of the country Guinea-Bissau. Oh, is that a country now? I don't think even that one has been covered yet, has it? Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau? Is it going to get hit by the hurricane? Wiki. Once part of the kingdom of Kabu. Kabu, European contact. Independence, 1973 to 2000. (2003) a coup. 2022, there was another attempted coup to overthrow President Umaro Sissoko Embalo. Africa condemned the coup. In 2022, there was an attack on the bill, blah, blah. In 2022, Embalo became the first African ruler to visit Ukraine. 2023, and another attempted a coup. Okay, so it's there. It exists. Where is it at again? States in medieval... Wait, I don't need to look at medieval Africa. It's already confusing enough as it is. There's the flag. Look, it has a star on it. Why do all the flags have a star now? Okay, so this is it here. Guinea-Bissau? Bissau? I don't even know how to say that. Dang, look at that size of that lake and that river now. Okay. Guinea-Bissau. Yeah, no, I don't. There's a lot of Mandelas right now. I actually was on Reddit. I'm like, there's one and there's one. I have like a jillion of them on Reddit right now. Lost Islands. Ah, yes. Talking about Coronado. Yeah, that Silver Strand did not exist for me, but I've talked to people around here who remember it. I'm positive it wasn't there. I actually watched it grow, and it was like tiny, and it was a little thin thing, and then it's huge. It's got longer and longer and longer. The back of the island, I've only actually been on there a couple times because a friend got married on there and stuff, but I definitely looked at the map enough times. Coronado was an island, yeah. Then they had that weird name for it, which it wasn't an island, and it was like a word for the... All right, hold on, let me see. is Coronado Island. So there's still a bunch of restaurants that say, like, Coronado Island, though. Coronado Beach Resort, Coronado, California. Here we go. There's a resort city in San Diego. Is a tide island, which is, what does that even mean? It's a tide island connected to the mainland by a tombolo. Okay, that's what I remember. A sandy isthmus called a silver strand. It's a tide island. Tide islands, or land tide islands as they are often known. So we've definitely seen a bunch of these tide islands showing up over by like the Ukraine and Russia. I think I covered that a couple months ago. So I guess that's going to be a thing. A tombolo is a sandy or shingle isthmus. So when I was looking this up for a time, they said that they filled that. Like, it wasn't really there, but they added sand. But now, last I checked, it looked like it's pretty much always been that. And they maybe added a little more sand, but it was always a tide island. The explorer Sebastian Vizcaino gave Coronado its name and draw its first map. Coronado is Spanish term for crowned. The name is derived from the Coronado Islands, an offshore Mexican archipelago. See if we could find that map. So that whole area has just got like way more waterways and cool stuff in it too. Do we have a map here? Oh, interesting. No map. So for me, this part keeps getting longer. The whole inside is getting bigger. So when I first was looking at this, these like little sticks, which are basically, I assume, the port areas where the ships come in, they would stick way out here. And I don't think they got shorter. I just think this distance got longer. So this overall shape stays the same, but everything is inflating. And these, like, I don't know, whatever these little, let me just open it in a bigger one. Yeah. These things, I think that first there was just one. Now there's this down in here is all grown in. This thing's all grown in. It's crazy. There's probably way more crazy stuff out here. It looks like canals are being put in by the Mandela. And I don't know if you recall, but there was that weird thing where it was like, wait, giant cruise ships can't come in here, and now they always have been. Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, they're all upgrades, so that's cool. We just have to survive through this craziness, because if we can just get, like, reality settled down, there's a whole bunch of neat infrastructure that's been slid in here for us. Beautiful animals, beautiful places to visit. So none of those fonts look right to me. Like, of all of those images of California flag font, I'm like, they're all wrong. I think it was just smaller. It was a little bit more of a traditional font. This thing looks like a real modern font. How do you pronounce the name of the island? Kirk? Well, San Diego is literally a deep state West Coast capital. Well, I don't know, whatever. What about San Francisco, Los Angeles? Because I would vote them first. Especially LA with the Hollywood in it. Yeah, Hawaii just keeps adding in new islands. It's kind of cool. So new islands are coming in everywhere. We're gonna just, everybody's gonna have their own island or what? Africa changes every 2 weeks. So I kind of think it's cool that we're just getting all these little separate places. Because I think it'd be great if we just had a huge range of cool places to visit. Like, it's kind of boring if everything's the same. Like, in California, I drive through the different cities, and there's really not that much difference. They've all got their strip malls, and it's just the same old, and the architecture's the same, and... Okay, so that's the thumbnail one, and apparently they just... Elephants sleep laying down now, and that's the thing that changed for me. They can sleep both lying down or standing up. But, I mean, think about it. It looks weird, and the reason it looks weird is because you don't see them sleeping laying down, because they didn't used to sleep laying down. And this is the same thing that happened to me with horses. It used to be if something was laying down, it was sick. And you still run into a lot of people who never saw sleeping horses on the ground because they didn't used to sleep. And so every time there's an image, people are like, oh no, that horse died. I'm like, no, he's sleeping. But the only reason I know that is because I know that the Mandela is constantly updating these things. This herd of Asian elephants, listed as China's top protected species, about 3,000 of them living in the wild today. I don't remember there being, or 300 of them living in the wild. I don't remember China having a protected species of elephant. I don't remember them having any elephants. Elephants are just traveling north in this timeline, I guess. But so yes, they sleep on the ground and they're in China. So that's a twofer. So they're saying, oh, these guys wandered out of some kind of protectorate area in China, whatever. They weren't in China before anyways. Oh my God, it's almost 2 o'clock already. Look at that. So, you know, like, I'm looking back 30 years ago and the whale watching tours, like, you would be lucky if you saw whales. Like, most of the time you just go out and you wouldn't see them. But now they're like, you see all these whales, and oh, that's whale number 72, and that's shimmy shammy, and that's blah blah whale, and it's like, that's why this whole thing, I'm like, I think I actually did that Simpsons lookalike one already. I think that's been on. I don't really have much time, so I will just go ahead and kind of play out the clock here. I think that was the Marge one, right? Yes, that one's been on. The Marge Simpson lookalike. You know, what is that? So the art for me in Egypt has changed a lot. And this really reminds me, what's that weird old book that they said they didn't know if it was real or not, but it has all the herbs and stuff. The art style here is very much like that book. Like, if this was in there... What is the name of that freaking book? Okay. Controversy. Where they said they can't recognize any of the plants in it, and they can't read any of it, and it's see if I can find that thing. Mystery. Voynich, that's it. The Voynich. It looks like the Voynich manuscript. Like, let me just see what the Voynich is in it, because the Voynich is always changing too. Voynich. Now, we still don't know what's written in Voynich manuscript, right? Unknown script referred to as Voyniches. The vellum is carbon dated the 15th century. The Voynich is always changing for me. Alright, let's go to Google. That's one that showed up recently. Dang, I'm not seeing... They used to have way more weird plants in it. This thing... Now they've got all these weird people. What kind of people are that? That is like a weird looking... That's not in there, is it? No, it's just weird art. Okay. I don't recognize either of those two. Don't recognize that. I don't recognize this either. These all look really quite different than I remember. Seems like all these weird girls are showing up. There was only one of these girl images last time. Alright, that is just redone art. Huh. Okay. That one maybe I remember. Dang, there's like, I really don't recognize very many of these. Castle detail. I just remember it being a bunch of herbs and scribblings. I don't remember there being like a bunch of girls and castles and... There was a little bit of stuff like this, but I don't remember this one. Dang, I mean, is that it also? Is that actually in it? I've never seen that either. What in the F? So the other ones look like plants that could exist. They weren't like this. That's in it too? I do think there was something sort of like this. I don't know. It's changed a lot. Seems like most of the plants are gone, or maybe they're just not showing them. Alright, that's kind of freaking me out. I don't know. It's bugging me because I really don't recognize those images. Horses did not used to sleep laying down for me. It used to be a big deal that if one was laying down, it was gonna, like, it was in danger of dying. Like, if you saw one lying down, you'd, like, panic. Especially if it wasn't moving. But that's been changed for a while now, like, at least 5 or 6 years. Yeah, so that same story, Vivian, elephants didn't used to lie down to sleep because their weight could put too much pressure on their lungs, was the same story for horses. And that's why you had to get them up, because they could die quickly. And they would just, like, lock their knees and sleep, and that was how they always did it. I don't know, Linda, does that look, they look all different? I mean, the Voynich drawings did look amateurish, but they were different amateurish drawings for me, not that way. Like, you know, say you were an herbalist and you were trying to draw plants, and you weren't like the world's best artist, but you were decent, and that showed it showed it enough that people could understand, you know, because you're not both an artist and a botanist, right? I'm wondering if we'll get a translation for Voynich. But when I saw that Marge Simpson one, I'm just looking at it now, like, God, that looks like the same style as the old Voynich. But when I went over here to the old Voynich, that's different now. It doesn't look like that anymore. It used to look like that. Horses must not lay around for long. They can sleep for hours now, though. That wasn't the case before. Like, they would never lay down unless they were sick, like really sick. And that was why it was panic on the high seas if you saw horses laying down before. Like, absolute panic. This horse is going to die, kind of a thing. Now they could just be taking a nap. They could be there for hours, and then they go, oh, is it time to get up? And there's no big deal at all. more like, don't even say it, Jackie. I don't want it. That movie, I didn't even watch the whole thing. That is something I don't want in my... I'm waiting for us to shift away from that existence of that whole concept. Yeah, I thought it was only about plants. And there was a few things where some energy kind of moved around. But there was some plants. I don't remember a bunch of these weird fat-faced girls. Like, their heads are too big. And I don't remember. Then there was like one. There was just like one image of those. But now it looks like there's a whole bunch. So it's definitely very shifty. My Matt Groening is a time traveler. I don't know. There was one really good one I probably should have covered, and it was on the Reddit, but it was basically, one of the stars, one of the famous people, had given a thank you speech and did not, in her memory, had not thanked her mother in the speech. And I guess it had tortured her for years that she felt guilty for forgetting to thank her mother at the speech. And then she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I never did that. And then they're like, no, you did it. And she's like, no, I didn't. And then he played the playback of her speech, and she did thank her mother. And then her face, she's like, oh my God, I did thank her. And she was like so happy because, like, how could she not have known for years and years? So it's almost like time changed to give her what she wanted. And it does seem like a lot of these shifts are like that. Like, people get something that they really wanted. Like, it's like a do-over. Like, a lot of people are getting a do-over on these things that were really bugging them. And that was an example of it. And I have it saved, so I should play it next week. But add me on Finch. I don't even know what Finch is. I'm sorry. Yeah, I do think it's just going to get weirder because it's not stopping. Where are we going with this thing? Yeah, Jackie, that one's too much. Besides, most horror films are sort of campy. That one is just extremely disturbing. Well, Shari, I'm glad it helped some. I know, what else can we do? There's some people who say I'm not going to do shows anymore because pointing out every little thing doesn't really help. But you know what? Just talking about it helps, and commiserating and just dealing with it together. And I think it helps a lot. Even if it's just to say, I can't believe this crap. But you can't talk. Most of us don't have anybody we can talk with this, I see stuff and I just have to keep my mouth shut all week until I get here, and I can finally let it out, and I won't get a whole bunch of naysaying. So, I mean, it's as much as for me as it is for everybody else. But I'm really glad that it does hopefully help a lot of other people. Yes, and the positive attitude. And that's a lot of why it just seems like the way we're thinking now really does program in a lot. And I'm not saying you can get everything, and there's probably a lot of complexity to what exactly you can get, but I think it helps. And I don't think it hurts at all. I have seen no signs that it hurts at all, so that's the other thing. Give it a shot. So, the drill. Think good thoughts, everybody. Thank you for coming. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.